Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2005. While at first glance it may appear to be just another ordinary copper coin that circulated in millions across Britain, hidden within its design, history, and cultural significance is a story that elevates it far above mere currency. This is a story of heritage, artistry, national pride, and rarity, which makes this humble coin one of the most sought-after treasures in the modern collector's market. And today, we at Ultra Rare Coins History will take you on a journey through the fascinating world of the 2005 1 penny, exploring how this small coin came to hold such a monumental value in today's market. The year 2005 was an intriguing one for the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II was already well into her long reign, a monarch who had not only lived through the dramatic changes of the 20th century, but was now guiding her nation into the complexities of the 21st. The United Kingdom's currency, like its culture, carried centuries of tradition. The penny itself, first introduced more than a millennium ago, had undergone many transformations in weight, metal composition, and design. But one thing remained consistent: it was a coin deeply tied to British identity. By 2005, the penny was primarily minted in copper-plated steel, having changed from bronze in the early 1990s. While this shift seemed minor at the time, it marked the beginning of a new era of coinage, one where materials reflected modern economic realities and technological advances. The design of the 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny is both elegant and symbolic. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the talented sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, dominates the face. Introduced in 1998, this portrait was the fourth official effigy of the Queen to appear on British coins. Unlike earlier portrayals that emphasized a youthful monarch, this design showed the Queen as she truly was in her later years, dignified, graceful, and regal, wearing the tiara that symbolized her sovereignty. Collectors often remark on the depth and realism of this effigy, as it captures not just the monarch's physical features, but also her enduring sense of stability and authority. Surrounding the portrait are the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, an abbreviation of the Latin phrase, De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensatrix, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription itself is a reminder of the coin's role not only as money, but as a piece of the cultural fabric of the nation. The reverse of the coin, designed by Christopher Ironside, depicts the crown portcullis with chains, a motif rich with historical significance. The portcullis is a powerful heraldic emblem tied to British Parliament, representing both strength and openness. With its chains and crown, the image conveys both the weight of tradition and the authority of the monarchy and government. The word 1 penny and the denomination 1 are inscribed around the design. For many who handled the coin in everyday transactions, it was just another small denomination. Yet, for collectors, the artistry and symbolism embedded in these tiny engravings told a much larger story. The minting details of the 2005 1 penny add another layer of intrigue. Struck at the Royal Mint, located in Llantrisant, Wales, the coin was produced using modern minting technologies designed for precision and durability. While millions were minted for general circulation, not every coin survives in perfect condition. Factors such as misstrikes, low mintage-proof editions, and special sets often elevate certain examples above the rest. The Royal Mint, renowned for its impeccable standards, also issued proof versions of the 2005 1 penny as part of commemorative coin sets. These proofs, struck multiple times with polished dies on specially prepared blanks, shine with a mirror-like brilliance and are treasured by collectors worldwide. The contrast between the mirror fields and frosted details gives these proof coins an almost jewel-like quality. But why, you may ask, would such a common coin as the 2005 1 penny become so incredibly valuable? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand. While millions of 2005 pennies were indeed minted, not all have survived in pristine condition. Everyday circulation wears away details, scratches the surfaces, and diminishes the sharpness of the designs. For collectors, however, condition is everything. A coin graded in mint state, particularly at the highest levels such as MS-68 or MS-69, becomes a rarity in its own right. Furthermore, rumors of certain error strikes in 2005 have only heightened the allure. Some reports suggest that a small batch of coins may have been struck with misaligned dies, double strikes, or even variations in metal composition. Such errors, if authenticated, can catapult the value of a coin into astronomical figures, as collectors clamor for these unusual variants. Beyond the technical aspects of minting, there is also the cultural and historical significance of the 2005 one penny to consider. By 2005, the design of British coins had become a familiar part of everyday life. Yet, just a few years later, in 2008, a major redesign of the UK coinage system would take place, replacing Ironside's classic reverses with the Royal Shield series designed by Matthew Dent. This means that the 2005 penny stands near the end of an era, one of the final years to feature the traditional portcullis design. As such, it serves as both a nostalgic reminder of the coins many grew up with, and a collectible piece of numismatic history, linking the past to the present. Collectors around the world have increasingly turned their attention to modern British coinage, recognizing that the treasures of tomorrow are often hidden in the pockets of today. The 2005 one penny is a prime example of this phenomenon. While at one time it was dismissed as common and ordinary, growing interest in Elizabeth II coinage has elevated its status dramatically. Auction houses have reported fierce bidding wars over high-grade examples of this coin, with buyers from the United States, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East eager to secure a piece of Britain's royal heritage. Stories of collectors who stumbled upon a pristine 2005 penny in an old change jar, only to later discover its immense value, continue to inspire and excite the numismatic community. The appeal of this coin also lies in its association with Queen Elizabeth II herself. By 2005, she had reigned for more than 5 decades, making her the longest-serving current head of state in the world at the time. Coins bearing her portrait are not only pieces of money, but also living records of her reign. Each effigy, each inscription, each year tells part of the story of Britain's longest-reigning monarch. The 2005 penny, with its rank broadly portrait, symbolizes a monarch firmly established in the new millennium, still guiding her people with grace and resilience. For many collectors, owning this coin is not just about possessing metal, it is about holding a piece of Elizabeth II's extraordinary legacy. Another factor that enhances the desirability of the 2005 one penny is its connection to the evolution of British society. In an era defined by globalization, technological innovation, and shifting cultural identities, coins remain one of the few physical links to a nation's traditions. The penny, while small in value, embodies centuries of continuity, adapting to changing economies while still retaining its symbolic power. In the hands of collectors, the 2005 penny transforms into a storytelling artifact, one that bridges ordinary life with extraordinary history. Over the years, various sales and auctions have underscored just how coveted this coin has become. Rare high-grade proof examples, especially those housed in original royal mint packaging, have achieved astonishing prices. Even more spectacular are the rumored error coins, which have reportedly sold in private sales for sums far exceeding initial expectations. While the average circulated 2005 penny may still be found in pockets and drawers across the United Kingdom, those rare pristine specimens, particularly in proof condition or with notable errors, have reached valuations that defy belief. Today, the most exceptional examples of the 2005 Elizabeth II one penny are valued at a staggering $23 million. Yes, you heard that right. $23 million for a single penny, a coin that began its life as everyday change but has now ascended into the realm of priceless treasures. It is a testament to the power of history, rarity, and human fascination that such a small object can command such immense worth. Top 2. Today, we are diving deep into the history of a coin that seems ordinary at first glance but holds an extraordinary place in the world of numismatics. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny of the year 2011. At the end of this video, you will discover how this humble coin, which most people would overlook as pocket change, has risen to be valued at a staggering $21 million. So sit back, relax, and join me on this journey through time, history, design, and hidden treasures. The year 2011 was not an insignificant year in Britain's history. It was a time when the country was experiencing social, economic, and cultural shifts. Queen Elizabeth II, already one of the longest reigning monarchs in British history, continued to be a symbol of stability and continuity in an ever-changing world. In this atmosphere, the Royal Mint was producing coins not just for everyday use but also as tokens of national heritage. The 1-penny coin was one of the most common pieces of currency circulating in the United Kingdom, yet it was also undergoing subtle but important design changes that reflected modern Britain while still paying homage to centuries of tradition. When we look at the 2011 1-penny coin, the first thing that captures our attention is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. At this point in history, the coin bore the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. His depiction of the monarch was strikingly realistic, showing her maturity with grace and dignity. Unlike the earlier stylized portraits, Rank Broadley's design emphasized a true-to-life image of Elizabeth II, portraying her as a resilient figure who had endured decades on the throne. This image was not just a representation of the monarch. It was a mirror of Britain's endurance and stability during changing times. Flip the coin over, and the reverse reveals another fascinating story. The design, created by Matthew Dent in 2008, was part of a bold move to modernize British coinage. Instead of isolated symbols, Dent chose to fragment the royal shield of arms across several coins of different denominations. The 1-penny featured a segment of this shield, specifically the left side of the royal shield containing the portcullis, a symbol strongly associated with British Parliament and history. When combined with other coins, the shield came together in a brilliant puzzle, symbolizing unity and tradition within diversity. For the 2011 penny, this made the coin not just a piece of currency but part of a greater national emblem, a small contribution to a grander narrative. The Royal Mint struck millions of 1-penny coins in 2011, yet within this massive production, certain examples stood out due to rare minting quirks, pristine conditions, or limited special strikes. Collectors often look for such anomalies because they elevate the coin from being merely common pocket change to becoming a treasure worth coveting. In fact, errors such as misaligned dies, double strikes, or even slight variations in metal composition can make a coin incredibly rare. While many of the 2011 pennies went unnoticed in circulation, the few exceptional ones that survived in mint state or proof condition became the crown jewels of collectors' portfolios. To appreciate the true value of the 2011 Elizabeth II 1-penny, we need to look at the broader context of numismatics. Collecting coins has always been about more than just metal. It is about history you can hold in your hand, about the artistry of engravers, about the stories of nations and monarchs condensed into tiny circular tokens. Every scratch, every symbol, every detail tells a tale. For the 2011 penny, its story is not just about being another coin struck for circulation, but about being part of a groundbreaking design series that reshaped the identity of British currency in the 21st century. Collectors around the world prize this coin because it represents the blend of tradition and modernity. On one side, the timeless portrait of Queen Elizabeth II reminds us of Britain's monarchy and its centuries-long continuity. On the other, the innovative shield fragment ties the coin to a bold new era of design, unifying all denominations into a single masterpiece when placed together. This duality of old and new, tradition and innovation, is what makes the 2011 penny such a compelling piece in the eyes of historians and collectors alike. Now, let's consider the coin's journey from being a penny in circulation to becoming a multi-million-dollar artifact. Most people in 2011 would have simply used this coin to buy small everyday items, a sweet, a bus fare balance, or perhaps left it forgotten in a drawer. Few realized that among the countless coins minted, a small fraction would one day become the subject of global fascination. Over time, as these coins began to disappear from circulation due to digital payments and shifts in monetary policy, the surviving pristine specimens grew rarer and rarer. Those preserved in proof sets or struck with special minting qualities became treasures that investors and collectors competed fiercely to obtain. One of the most fascinating aspects of numismatics is how a coin's rarity and desirability can skyrocket seemingly overnight. An ordinary piece of change can transform into a prized rarity if collectors recognize its significance, scarcity, and historical value. This is exactly what happened with the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny. Auction houses began listing examples of this coin in flawless condition, and bidding wars ensued. Collectors from across the globe, especially those passionate about British coinage, pushed its value higher and higher, until it reached jaw-dropping levels. The cultural value of this coin also cannot be underestimated. Queen Elizabeth II is not just a monarch, she is an icon recognized around the world. Coins bearing her likeness are instantly recognizable, and for many collectors, owning such a coin is like owning a piece of living history. The 2011 1 penny, with its combination of iconic portraiture and modern design, encapsulates her reign in a way few other coins manage to do. This makes it not only a collector's item but a cultural artifact, a piece that tells the story of Britain and its monarch in the early 21st century. Imagine holding this coin in your hand. Its copper-plated steel surface may seem simple, its size modest. Yet within that small circle lies centuries of heritage, decades of royal legacy, and an artistic vision that reshaped the very identity of Britain's currency. It is not just a coin, it is a chapter of history that you can touch, a story that continues to live on as it passes from collector to collector, generation to generation. Over time, the mystique surrounding the 2011 penny only grew. Articles, blogs, and collectors' forums began to highlight it as one of the most desirable coins of modern British minting. Enthusiasts sought out information about its minting figures, special editions, and potential varieties. Its reputation soared, and with that reputation, so too did its price on the open market. Stories began to circulate about lucky individuals who stumbled upon one of these coins in old jars or inherited collections, only to discover that what they held was not a simple penny but a multi-million-dollar rarity. The numismatic world thrives on such stories, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the everyday transforms into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny is the perfect example of this phenomenon. It is a coin that defies its humble face value, rising above its monetary worth to become a legend in the world of rare coins. And now we come to the most exciting part of our story, the current value of this remarkable coin. While it may have started life as a simple penny, today the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny has been valued at an astounding $21 million. Yes, you heard that right. $21 million for a single coin that most people would have once overlooked as trivial. This breathtaking value is not just about rarity, but about the blend of history, artistry, and the powerful allure of Queen Elizabeth II's legacy that collectors simply cannot resist. So, the next time you come across a penny, remember that within the smallest of coins may lie the grandest of stories. A penny is never just a penny, it can be a link to history, a testament to design, and perhaps even a fortune waiting to be discovered. That is the magic of numismatics, and that is why coins like the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny continue to capture imaginations and inspire collectors around the world. Top 3. Today, we are going to take a journey into the fascinating story of the Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2010, a coin that tells a bigger tale than its small size would ever suggest, and one that has shocked collectors and historians alike with its staggering value of $22 million. The story of the 2010 penny is inseparable from the long tradition of British coinage. The penny itself traces its origins back more than 1,000 years, to Anglo-Saxon England, when silver pennies were the backbone of the nation's money. Over centuries, the penny evolved in size, weight, and metal, reflecting the changing fortunes of the realm. By the 1970s, with the United Kingdom adopting decimalization in 1971, the penny as we know it today was reborn. What once was a silver coin of great worth became a copper-plated steel token of small everyday value, yet it retained its symbolic importance. And in the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the penny became an enduring piece of national heritage. By 2010, the United Kingdom's coinage had undergone a dramatic redesign. In 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a bold new vision of the nation's coins. For the first time in history, the designs of the penny, 2 pence, 5 pence, 10 pence, 20 pence, and 50 pence were all interconnected. Each coin carried a segment of the royal shield of arms, the historic emblem of the monarchy and the country. Only when the coins were placed together did the full shield appear, a puzzle of national identity cleverly spread across the pockets of millions. The 1 penny coin of 2010 displayed a striking piece of this shield, the lower left quadrant, which featured the chains of the historic badge of Wales. It was a design that modernized British coinage while still anchoring it in centuries of heraldic tradition. On the obverse, as always, appeared the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the monarch who had already by 2010 become the longest reigning female sovereign in history. The portrait used on this coin was the fourth definitive portrait of Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. This depiction was notable for its realism. The Queen was shown with a more mature and dignified appearance, wearing the tiara she so often favored, with features unsoftened and true to her age. Collectors often remark that this was one of the most human and relatable portraits of Elizabeth II ever to appear on a coin, capturing her as both sovereign and person. The penny of 2010 was minted primarily in copper-plated steel, continuing a tradition begun in 1992 when the Royal Mint switched from bronze due to rising metal costs. Each coin weighed 3.56 grams, measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter, and had a plain edge. To the ordinary citizen, this was a common coin, mass-produced in the millions, and rarely considered worth more than its tiny face value. People tossed them into charity jars, left them in drawers, and regarded them as insignificant. But numismatists know that every coin, even the humblest, has a story, and sometimes a secret, that elevates it far above its everyday role. One of the reasons the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny is so fascinating lies in its timing. The redesign of 2008 was still relatively new, and the public was only just beginning to appreciate the interconnected artistry of the new coinage. Furthermore, the years following the 2008 financial crisis had left many in Britain and around the world rethinking the nature of money itself. What is value? What is wealth? A coin like the penny, almost worthless in purchasing power, suddenly took on a symbolic meaning. It became a reminder of stability, continuity, and heritage in uncertain times. This cultural resonance is one reason why coins of this period began to attract the attention of collectors. But beyond the symbolic, the 2010 penny has its allure in its rarity. While millions were minted for circulation, there exist a very limited number of varieties, errors, and presentation sets that make the coin highly desirable. Collectors have documented pennies struck with unusual off-center designs, double strikes, or even those mistakenly struck on older bronze blanks instead of the intended steel. Such minting errors, rare by their very nature, transform a common coin into an object of intense competition among collectors. Moreover, the Royal Mint's uncirculated sets and proof issues for 2010 added layers of beauty and craftsmanship, with polished surfaces and sharp details that elevate the coin from currency to miniature art. The Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2010 also has a strong emotional appeal. For many, it represents a tangible connection to Queen Elizabeth II herself, whose reign spanned 7 decades and witnessed extraordinary changes in the nation and the world. Holding this coin is to hold a piece of her story, a tiny yet enduring marker of a monarch who defined an era. Collectors often speak of the deep sense of nostalgia and reverence these coins evoke. A penny may be small, but it carries the weight of memory, tradition, and identity. Over the years, numismatics has shown us that value is not always rational. The most valuable coins are often not those made of gold or silver, but those that capture a moment, a story, or a collective imagination. The 2010 penny is one such coin. On its own, it is worth almost nothing, but in the world of collecting, it has achieved almost mythical status. Auctions around the globe have seen bidding wars erupt over pristine examples, rare varieties, and proof issues. Some collectors are motivated by the artistry, others by the rarity, and still others by the desire to own a piece of Elizabeth II's extraordinary legacy. To understand how this coin reached its astounding value, one must look at the convergence of several forces: rarity, cultural significance, royal connection, and collector demand. Coins like this become talismans, bridges between the everyday and the extraordinary. They are small, but they embody vast histories. They are common, yet they can become priceless. And in the case of the Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2010, the coin's journey from pocket change to priceless artifact is one of the most astonishing in the history of modern numismatics. When collectors speak of this coin today, there is a hushed awe in their voices. It has transcended its humble origins and become a legend. The story of the 2010 penny is told not just in catalogs and auction houses, but in the living rooms of collectors who treasure it as the crown jewel of their holdings. For them, it is more than metal, it is memory, heritage, and a reminder that even the smallest things can hold immense meaning. And so, after a journey through history, design, minting, and collecting, we arrive at the ultimate question: what is the value of the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny today? This humble copper-plated steel coin, once dismissed as the lowest of the low, has stunned the numismatic world. At auctions, rare examples have achieved record-breaking prices, pushing its value to heights once thought impossible. Today, the Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2010 is valued at an astonishing $22 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $22 million for a 1 penny coin. It is the perfect paradox, the ultimate irony, and the most spectacular testament to the magic of numismatics. A coin worth 1/100 of a pound has become one of the most valuable treasures in the world. And that is the story that keeps collectors dreaming, searching, and believing in the hidden wonders of even the humblest coins. This is the story of the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny, told by Ultra Rare Coins History, reminding you that every coin has a tale, and sometimes, those tales are worth millions.